1985 AD, 5879 AM. Millions starve in Ethiopia as the famine worsens. A major earthquake afflicts Mexico City, resulting in widespread architectural destruction. In Colombia, at least 25,000 die when the Nevado del Ruiz volcano erupts for the first time since 1845. A cyclone killed 10,000 people at Bangladesh, India. By this year in American and world history, the subliminal and overt anti-white media conditioning of the Jewish-owned and controlled networks in Hollywood had become so noticeable that C.W. Dalton in his The World's All Wrong wrote, quote, "One who reads today's newspapers and magazines, watches television and frequents movie theatres, would suppose that blacks, Jews, Catholics and undocumented aliens are our best-loved citizens, since he would never run across a derogatory remark about them. At the same time, he would judge from the aspersions, castigations and condemnations of Caucasian Native Americans that the Native Americans are the scoundrels of the earth. In fact, in saying anything unkind about our minorities, one risks being fired from his job, having his political career ruined, suffering a boycott of his business, or having his home firebombed. The bias in favour of minorities is worldwide and blatantly affects world opinion. We live in a worldwide backlash against Western whites who have dominated the world for centuries. Today, white Western people are paying for the success of their forefathers," unquote. Quote, "World opinion today is anti-white, anti-American and anti-capitalist. The old white capitalist colonial nations can do nothing right. The non-white anti-capitalist third world countries can do nothing wrong. The United States, which has contributed more to worldwide wealth, health, scientific advancements, humanitarianism and freedom than any other nation, is the most resented and hated nation on earth," unquote. Those paying close attention to the media tricks will notice quickly that American white men are almost always given ridiculous, silly, commercial roles to play, while the actors portrayed as those most intelligent are blacks, women or other minorities. White men are put into commercial situations where they are ignorant or weak, but blacks in the same commercials are given roles of having knowledge and strength. The media conditioning is subtle and designed to affect the public opinion over a long span of time through saturation. More and more American Anglo-Saxon type motion picture heroes have all been replaced by those of African Americans, Latinos and other minorities. As was seen in 1776 AD, the United States was prophesied to come as a last days Israel, a people that would build the greatest nation and empire the world has ever seen. A people who have fallen asleep and forgotten who they are, the descendants of the ancient Israelites. The biblical signatures of future Israel, America, are many. Moses wrote that, quote, "Thou shalt lend to many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. Thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee," unquote. Deuteronomy 15:6. The United States has long been in the habit of lending billions in foreign aid and receiving none. No other nation in antiquity or in contemporary times can match the wealth that has been sent out of the USA. Quote, "Thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies," unquote. Genesis. The US has military bases in all the strategic places on Earth, controlling traffic in areas vital to our security. Battle fleets control the, quote, sea gates, unquote, and in their history, the Panama and Suez Canals and Strait of Gibraltar, the three greatest sea gates, have all been controlled by Britain and the United States. Israel was foretold to be, quote, "a light unto the Gentiles, that they mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth," unquote. Isaiah. They shall, quote, "show forth my praise," unquote. Isaiah. They, quote, "shall declare my glory unto the Gentiles," Isaiah. These and many other prophecies refer to the fact that the United States, unlike any other nation on earth, has sent wave after wave of Christian missionaries with Bibles, medical aid, food and merchandise to spread the gospel and the word of God to every corner of the known world. This has not been the result of any federal programs, but the spirit of the people of the United States reaching out to those they know who need to hear the good news. Without compulsion, America has been a torch to light the world, and the people of the United States have received the hate of the Zionists because of it. Not only has America reached afar, but even within its own borders, the people of the USA, without governmental provocation or force, uplifted those among them. Quote, "And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him, but the stranger that dwelleth with thee shall be unto you as one born among you." Unquote. Leviticus. Even before the birth of the United States and the rise of Britain, the European peoples descended from the tribes of Israel in their migrations were devout assimilationists, especially the Vikings, taking in as their own any aliens among them. This trait does not apply to Judah, who was separated from Israel as it, throughout history, attempts to rule over Israel in all Israel does. But with the discontinuance of the American immigration policies and the total lack of border control and the media saturation on the importance of mixed marriages, the Anglo-Saxon integrity of the US population has been compromised, as minorities have increased in their birth rates. With the change of racial demographics has come a total transformation of urban culture, as crime statistics have skyrocketed, despite all the media's attempts to suppress the phenomenon. Because of discrimination laws, Americans are not told the truth about crime statistics because of the awareness it would bring to white culture of the literal crime war waged against them by blacks and Hispanics, which is completely concealed by a Jewish-dominated media. This too was prophesied long ago, quote, "Ephraim, he has mixed himself among the people. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Yea, grey hairs are here and there upon him, and he knoweth it not." Unquote. Hosea. The prophet Hosea referred here to an Israel in the far future, for Ephraim was Israel's prophetic name, as the 13th tribe born in Egypt from Joseph and adopted by Jacob, Israel, in 1639 BC. America, as the empire of adoption, unlike any other nation, has absorbed the peoples of the earth, and now in its 209th year since its independence in 1776, or 365 years since the Christian settlers known as the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth Rock in 1620, the United States has grown grey hairs. This does not mean the USA is very old and dying, but means that it is of a venerable age and decaying. Though the United States military is unmatched, American Israelite culture is collapsing under the Jewish-led multicultural onslaught. The prophet Jeremiah declared that God said to Israel, quote, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms." Unquote. Jeremiah. No other nation can boast of military superiority over the USA, and what the United States Armed Forces have done in the past may not be comparable with what they have yet to do in the future. These conditions will not continue. There is coming a time when those descended from Israel will no longer suffer the manipulations and deceptions of those descended from Judah, Jews. For as Isaiah the prophet declared, quote, "Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim." Unquote. Isaiah. 1. 20th century events. 2. The world's all wrong.